Hey, Chidarin. One day my Twitch will load as well. There we go. Okay. It looks fine. Hey Bear. Hey. Yep, sorry for the delay, but I'm here, so let's jump in. If I remember correctly, there was something about picking partners or teams to collect chestnuts, something. Okay, let's see how that goes. Right. I gaze up at the autumn twilight. The rays of golden light breaking through the puffy clouds create a strikingly beautiful effect, and I feel a supreme sense of loneliness. I'm the only person in the world. Staring up at the millions of glittering stars, surrounded by the deep, silent forest, I feel like I've been transported into a painting.
確かあれがカシオペア座だったかな。
With my mind distracted by these childish fantasies, I speak out loud. That's pretty much the only constellation I know. I chuckle to myself, thinking how my astronomy-loving best friend would probably enjoy this a lot more than me. The vibrations of my unconscious laughter have traveled down to my injured leg. In that instant, a dagger of intense pain shoots up from my ankle all the way to my brain, giving me a shock like I've been hit on the head with a blunt object. Oh no. Did you twist your ankle? What? The basket I carried my bento in is filled with an almost overflowing heap of chestnuts. They're one of the reasons I'm in the situation I am right now. I look down at them as they peek their little faces up at me from inside the basket.
冗談じゃないぞ。
Not wanting to face reality, I think back on what happened just a short while earlier.
ここなら取り放題じゃないか。
After lunch, we held our totally impartial drawing of straws.
はいです。ここなら私としても一番になれると思うのですよ。
Ringo is so confident. I warmed up paired with Ringo-kun. Aww. Oh, is this awkward or cute? I can't tell. Brimming with competitive spirit, she clenched her fist in front of her chest.
優勝商品があまり大したものではないから適当でいいと思うよ。
Oh, she wants to win. It's not about a prize.
いいえ。料理部で3回誰でもペアを組める件は魅力的ですよ。
In the end,
結局優勝者がお弁当を選び放題はなくなったしな。
it was already past lunchtime by the time we arrived at our leaf viewing base. If we'd saved lunch until after the chestnut collecting competition, well, people can't work on an empty stomach, so the idea was shut down.
公開処刑だったな。
Oopsies.
はい。
Hi?
いや、こんなに見事な栗の木を見つけたのは我々だけだろうってね。優勝は間違いなしだ。
Watching Ringo-kun out of the corner of my eye as she nodded elatedly, I remembered how proudly I'd shown Neri the bento I'd made. That spin I did really was a bad idea.
さあ、早く始めましょう。急がないと他の人に取られてしまうですよ。
この方角を選んだのは僕たちしかいなかっただろう。だから大丈夫だよ。
So they're spread out across the woods, okay.
しかしですね、敵はうっかり者の姉だけではなく、切れ者のスオちゃんもいるのです。油断はできませんよ。
よほど誰かとペアを組みたいと見えるね。
Even as I said it,
バカか。
I just barely managed to stop myself from pressing my hand to my forehead in frustration at my own lack of consideration. It's not the kind of thing I should be saying to Ringo-kun.
はい、絶対負けられないですよ。
I don't know, I am conflicted because she seems absolutely unaffected and like really into the spirit of the competition and just enjoying herself. She doesn't seem like someone who's been aching in anticipation of an answer from Yuzuriha to her confession. So, I don't know what's happening here. She responded brightly.
そうだね。僕も和菓子を独占するために頑張るとしよう。
I said, grateful for her obliviousness.
さすがに軍手なしじゃ。
Yeah,
手で剥くのは無理か。
those things sting. I tried a few different ways of peeling off the burrs more efficiently, but
大丈夫ですか？出ていませんか？
she pulled out a band-aid and examined my hand worriedly. Oh, she's so cute.
数が数だからね。手早く剥く方法をいろいろ模索してみているのだけど。
やっぱり基本に忠実が一番です。こうですよ、八代先輩。
She pressed her foot down gently on a fallen chestnut, then deftly used her other foot to peel the shell away at the point where it split.
見事だ。
おばあちゃん直伝ですからね。先人
Aww.
の知恵ですよ。
Oh, that's cute.
基本に勝るものはないか。以前話してくれた料理教室を開いている方だね。
はい。父や母は買い付けで日本より外国にいる方が長いですから、祖母に教わることが多かった。
I felt a new sense of closeness with her upon hearing this insight into her complicated family situation.
そうだったのか。海外じゃないが、僕も似たようなものかな。
そうなのですか？
祖父母に預けられていたわけではないが、母は体が弱く、父は転勤族で忙しい。あまり家族には恵まれなかったのかな。
The last line comes out in a murmur.
すまない。やはり僕の事情とリンゴくんでは違うな。ご両親は何をなさっているんだい？
宝石商です。
Oh, I don't think we knew. Did we know that? I don't have any distinct memory of that. That's cool. It seems like she's from an even more refined background than I thought. She asked me the same question back, and I replied that my father was in banking. At the outset, I thought it would be awkward, but our chestnut picking proceeded smoothly. So smoothly that we ended up getting carried away. We lost track of time and carried on past the designated regrouping time.
そろそろ戻らないとな。
The basket I'd been carrying my bento in then was The basket I'd been carrying my bento in was then filled to the brim with chestnuts. We were sure to win, I was certain.
リンゴくんは
Oh no. I called out in her direction. She was still picking up chestnuts beneath a row of chestnut trees marching up a steep slope. Okay. For a moment I panicked. I thought they lost each other or something.
わかりました。
Responding to my announcement, she started heading back toward me. All right. This is the moment I realized. The moment I sensed keenly. Oh no, oh, I'm so stressed. That her decision to take a shortcut down the slope was a dangerous one. And my bad feelings are never wrong. Oh no. I've been in Ringo's seat here many times. It's a very strange feeling. Not quite unpleasant, but still an inch of distance that hurts a bit. I see. I see. I think I've had something similar happen to me as well. It's just, I'm not really detecting that from her. Unless she is just masking it very well. She was probably about 10 paces away from me when she stumbled on the slope and... No! I'm just waiting, I'm just patiently waiting for the usual twin switcheroo to ruin everything. Yeah, I'm questioning everything, to be honest. Particularly because you couldn't actually tell properly who it was in the chapel, so... I'm proceeding with the information that we've been given, but I am questioning it in the back of my mind. So let's see where that goes. Hearing her scream, I started to run straight for her. I don't know if running is a proper good choice.
このざまってわけだ。
It's great that I saved Ringo-kun, but in return I ended up with a horribly sprained ankle. There we go. I thought about trying to limp back with her supporting me, but
距離がある上、リンゴ君とでは身長差で無理だ。
instead I asked Ringo-kun, who looked like she was dying of guilt, to return to the meeting point and get help, but
森深いところまで来ていたしな。迷っていなければいいぞ。
no. I did have a feeling when they split up in the woods. I did. The sky is gradually turning from scarlet to a dark purple. It's not dark enough to see the stars.
暗くなってしまったら見つけるのは無理だろうな。
Maybe the pessimistic streak I had as a child is resurfacing. All my thoughts have taken a downward turn. Worst comes to worst, I'll have to spend the night right here. Yeah. I chuckle wryly to myself as the nightingale chooses exactly that moment to start singing. Then, the movement causes another electric shock of pain, followed by a dull thud in my head. I've had a sprained ankle, it's not fun. Whatever the situation, it's up to you. Whether or not you're able to laugh it off all depends on how you feel. I recalled my father's words. I searched through my memories, trying to remember when he uttered them. My father is the kind of person who always speaks respectfully, even if he's speaking to a young child or his own daughter. That's why I'm confused as to when he delivered such a frank remark.
さすがに笑えなくなってきた。そう思っただけだったんだがね。
Her sprite is dyed in blue. It is nighttime. Damn it. Yep, there it is. As the last crimson rays disappear below the distant horizon, the forest is enveloped in an even deeper darkness, and me with it.
さらに雲間も怪しい。
Although this is true darkness, free from any artificial light, thanks to the light of the moon, I'm still able to make out the silhouettes of the now familiar trees surrounding me. I would not be comfortable for a freaking second there. I would just, like, I don't know, find some fallen branch and, like, drag myself somewhere, but not stay there. Oh god. Oh. However, I can also see ominous dark clouds gathering in the distance. Rain
秋
clouds.
とはいえ、夜は冷えるってのに、雨とかシャレにならないぞ。
Wandering off somewhere else after Ringokun's gone to get help would be nothing short of a stupid plan. But what if they don't find me? Students aren't used to navigating these woods, and it's already nighttime. It's looking more and more likely that I'm going to be spending a full night here. Even just attempting to stand overwhelms me with unbearable pain. I grind my back teeth together to try to force back the pain. Letting out a long breath of air, I touch my hand to my forehead. Despite the cold, my skin is coated in a light sheen of sweat. The pain, which up until now hadn't bothered me unless I moved, has developed into a dull ache that covers my entire body like a thin, invisible membrane.
上着を破って足首に巻いたら歩けるようになるか？
There are plenty of sticks lying around I can use for a splint.
力には自信があるが、さすがに素手で上着なんて破れないよな。
Then how about my skirt? I look down at my skirt, longer than the one we wear in summer.
ダメだ。想像したらセクシーすぎて笑ってしまう。
Me, dressed in our autumn uniform, my skirt ripped so short I risk flashing my underwear if I bend over. I can't make anyone witness that, male or female. I sigh at my own self-deprecation.
ようやく八重垣くんの気持ちが分かったよ。
I mutter to myself. I can't keep it together without making a few jokes. I look up at the pale moon as the dark clouds start to creep across it. When I was younger, I was always like this. I have the surreal sense that I'm incorporeal, floating several centimeters above the earth. Incorporeal, maybe. Yeah, that's what it is. That's why it came out wrong. Sorry. Floating several centimeters above the earth. My feet aren't anchored to the ground. When it comes down to it, nothing's really changed. The girl who gave me the love letter just last month, although it already feels like an age ago. Ichigo Sasaki, who makes no effort to conceal her affection. And Ringo Sasaki, who made her own brave confession. I'm flattered they feel that way about me. It means they accept me. However, what if their feelings for me were infectious? If I were to reciprocate those feelings for real, would they still accept me for who I am? This is such a twisted logic. What? Ugh. I feel like at this point she's kind of twisting her mind into a pretzel just to keep being self-deprecating. Because I don't know what else this is. Oh. Pets. I wish I could give her some pets. The person who comes to mind is Nerine Komikado, the one I've always yearned for. I know that she wouldn't accept me, despite being... No, because she's my best friend. In that case, whether it's just a manifestation of my admiration, or if it really is love... Easier said than done. But the thought of it alone sends a knife through my heart. It's a different kind of pain to that afflicting my ankle. A pain that constricts my chest and makes it hard to breathe. I've lost my usual puffed up pump, my deflated heart a tiny, forlorn thing. When I'd come home crying that dusky evening, my best friend had said to me, well, that's hard to do with a sprained ankle, I guess. I feel something tugging inside my chest, like the rumble of distant thunder. Oh, it comes. Oh, she sounds so worried. A voice that resonates clearly in my ears. No, this voice is... The moment her name leaves my lips, I know it's true. I'd know her voice anywhere, no matter how far away, no matter how faint.
Neri?
I whisper her name again, feeling like I'm about to burst into either laughter or tears. As I hear the sound of her footsteps and voice drawing closer, my feelings continue to linger somewhere in the middle, neither shifting definitively one way nor the other. Then, all at once the nearby shrubbery rustles loudly and... She appears before me, glowing pale in the moonlight. When I'd come home crying that dusky evening, I felt like I had regressed back to my younger self, and I realized it was becoming harder and harder to repress myself. Oh, I would have wanted to see more. That's just a tiny little... Oh, she's there. Now we end the scene. Ugh. There's a few names for it in Japanese media. Class S, Business UD, etc. This idea of pure love, I guess it's pure love that you meant. Pure love between girls that's different from romantic and sexual love accepted between the opposite sex. Uh-huh. So, what? She's imagining in her head that... Hey, Patch, thank you for the PTs. Hi, hi. So she's imagining in her head that their infatuation for her only rests at that kind of level. And that if she were to actually reciprocate the feelings, it would ruin it. I don't know, but I feel like if I loved someone and confessed to them, I would want them to reciprocate. Like, that would be the whole point, no? Okay. I once spoke about dreams with a friend. My friend told me that they had 3 recurring dreams. One was a dream of looking down on a cylindrical greenhouse, where richly colored birds and butterflies danced through the air. Another was of being naked and shivering in the middle of an empty, sterile white room. The third, she stubbornly refused to tell me, no matter how much I cajoled her, although I really only asked nicely. All she'd tell me was that it made her feel bad. Every time I hear about other people's dreams, I think how different they are to my own. The dreams I hear about others are fantastical and nonsensical, far removed from reality. They become someone else, fly through the air, go on an adventure with a character from a movie. The dreams I have aren't like that. My dreams are... Oh. Well, that's pretty. Mostly recollections of the past. Like I'm rewinding a tape burned with my memories and rewatching it. Sometimes I do have rather weird dreams where someone says or does things they wouldn't normally do, but they never involve places I haven't been to or people I've never spoken to in real life. What I see is always what I've experienced, which is why, when I dream, I always feel very sad. Mm. Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! Tiny! What? Tiny and rabbit and butterflies and roses. This... okay. Cute. Exactly, she doesn't think they're serious, and some probably aren't. Another common negative stereotype in Japan is that love between girls is just a phase or play relationship that they're expecting to grow out of once they graduate. Oh, that feels sad. No. No. Oh, can this episode break my heart any harder? Oh, but look at the bunny. Oh, it's so cute. I can't. Okay. Let's go on. I transferred schools a lot due to my father's work. Despite knowing from the start that I'd soon have to say goodbye, I always tried my hardest to fit in. This must be like the hardest thing to have to do as a child. But along the way, repeatedly meeting new people and then parting from them in such a short time frame, I developed a negative disposition. Making friends with my classmates when I was just going to leave soon was pointless, and saying goodbye was painful. Just like a certain girl I know, books became my only friends. Oh, that's really sad. I can't say I had a good home life either. My younger brother was born when I was in elementary school. Due to complications with the pregnancy, my mother, who had previously been healthy, was from then on often ill. Oh, I feel so bad. Of course, she could no longer follow my father on his frequent transfers. She moved into a hospital near her parents' house, and that's the image that comes to me when I think of her. Sometimes it would be a long journey to go see her from wherever we were then based. Yeah, I know, Javelin. It is adorable. I can't. Oh, I want a pet. Yeah, sorry, did I read that? Yes, I did. I enjoyed those little trips with my father, who I otherwise rarely got to see, and I was always happy to see my mum. My mother laying in her hospital bed. She was a gentle woman, brimming with compassion, but she had a way of speaking that left the most important things unsaid. As a child, that made me feel extremely anxious. She'd say stuff like, "It's okay, don't worry. The doctor is extremely skilled," though there are issues elsewhere. Once, on the way home from visiting my mother, my father asked me a question. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but it was about all the yearbooks I'd received. Whenever I left the school, I'd receive a big card with a signed note from each of my classmates. Oh, that's really cute. When I said that I was carefully keeping each and every one I received, for some reason my father looked extremely sad. And then, after that day, I stopped moving schools. However, by that time, a degree of timidity had been mixed into my already negative disposition. If I were to blame anyone for my becoming timid, I'd say it originated with my mother. I excelled at remembering things and again recalling those memories. After hearing or seeing something once, I never forgot it. My mother was the same. In elementary school, when you're studying the basics, it put me well ahead of my peers. Why can't they do it? But it's often the case that excelling in some areas can have harmful consequences in others. When I transferred into the school which would become my last, I was a terribly melancholy, nervous, and disagreeable child. They keep using this, isn't melancholy a noun? And isn't melancholic the adjective? Or am I crazy? They keep using it as an adjective throughout the novel. It's been used several times, and every single time it bugs me. Because I feel like I'm reading something weird. But maybe it's just something that it is grammarly valid, and I'm not used to it. I haven't seen it that way. Okay. I was at that odd age, on the border between early and late childhood. And that's when I met her. Oh, Tiny's number 2. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Oh. Oh, look at those braids. Oh, how cute is that? Oh gosh. Nerine Komikado. She was the complete opposite of me. Or rather, she reminded me who I had once been. Vivacious yet gentle, and with a firm sense of self, she stuck to her own opinions, even in the face of older kids. At first, my new classmates were all nice to me. As they tried to talk with me, though, they'd always end up withdrawing like waves from the shore. So I kept my distance from Nerine Komikado too at first, because I thought that if I let her get close to me, she'd just leave me again one day, like everyone else had. To me, she was like the sky on a winter's night. So pure and beautiful you could get lost in her, but totally untouchable, and with a distinct boundary between herself and other people. So melancholic can be used as a noun or adjective. Melancholic is just an adjective. Yeah, it's just I've never encountered it that way, so it feels very odd when I read it. But okay, I'll try to get used to it. Thank you for looking it up. But that boundary I thought I saw was of my own making. A little while after I'd started at the school, we went on a trip. It might also be influenced by Romanian, where the noun and the adjective are just that. You cannot use the noun as both, so it's probably like short-circuiting some wires in my head. It's an obsolete verb last used in the 1800s. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Someone is crying. I'm a sucker for childhood flashback. Hits me right in the feels. Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Oh, we were told to get into pairs to go walking, but I was on my own. As bad luck would have it, I took a nasty fall and scraped my knee. The stinging pain and the unbearable loneliness. I'm choking up just reading this. And it's a black background, okay? I was so sad, so hurt. All alone, I started crying quietly to myself. Then...
大丈夫。痛くないよ。
child voice. Oh. She spoke to me as she washed the wound with water from her flask. After putting on a band-aid, she held out her hand to me.
私はコミカドネリネ。知らないかもだから、もう一度自己紹介。やつしろ、ゆずりは。
Oh, just grabbing the tip of the finger. Oh god, I can't. Oh. I was so nervous that I couldn't properly grasp hold of her proffered hand. Oh, it's just the tip of the finger. It's so cute. Oh.
正しい握手ができないと、一人前って認められないって、お父さんが言ってたよ。私の目を見て、しっかり握手するの。やつしろゆずりは。よろしく、コミカドさん。ネリネでいいよ、ゆずりはちゃん。ネリネちゃん。
Oh, red string. Oh, can we just bask in the glory of this? Oh. Such a delicate handhold. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I understood. I understood, no worries. Oh. The memory of that moment is seared into my brain. Joy wins over sorrow in the dream this time. Yes, I remember. From the moment we shook hands, I was mesmerized. Her smile, not wintry, but like a window thrown open on a sunny spring day. Are you awake? For a moment, I think the voice is a continuation of my dream. Wow, strong Nettie. What the heck? A solid warmth, a slight swaying motion, and the scent of lilies serve to inform me that this is reality. Nerine Komikado is carrying me on her back. I always pictured the opposite, that it would be possible. But not this. Strong Neri! What can I say?
起きたのね。まだ眠っていてもいいのに。
The warmth and motion have drowsiness tugging at my lids again, but...
肩を貸してくれ。
Neri's strong, yeah.
ダメよ。今は平気かもしれないけど、歩いたら後でひどくなるかもしれないわ。だからダメ。
Yeah, she does. She does. She's awesome. We stand strong, Neri, yeah.
重いだろ。全然。ゆずり葉はもっと食べた方がいいわ。軽すぎて心配になるくらいよ。
Despite what she says, her footsteps betray her. She's really pushing herself.
よく見つけられたね。大体の方角はリンゴさんから聞いていたから。ずっと走り通しだったから休んでもらったの。これ以上走ったら死んでしまうほどだったのよ。
From my position on Edina's back, I feel a profound gratitude.
残念だけれど、栗は持ってこられなかったわ。構わない。こっちの方が貴重だ。
I bury my nose in my best friend's nape, nuzzling against the skin. A tremor runs through her back at the ticklish sensation.
今日は甘えたがりね。そうかな。そうよ。だって私のことをレリネちゃんって。
My cheeks flush scarlet as I realize I spoke out while the boundaries between the dream world and the real one were still blurred.
そんなこと言った覚えは。しっかり聞いたわよ。レリネちゃんって。前は私のことをそう呼んでいたわよね。
She asks me why I stopped, and I find myself at a loss.
あだ名で呼んだ方が親密な気がしたなんて。私はちゃん付けも好きだったのよ。ゆずりはちゃん。
勘弁してくれ。
I lower my head and nuzzle my nose against her neck again, drinking in her scent. For a while, the only sound that reaches my ears is the thud of her feet against the earth and grass.
以前にもこんなことがあったわ。
She murmurs to no one in particular. It's more like she's talking to herself than to me.
森の中で。あれは遠足だったかしら。ゆずりはが怪我をして、水筒の水で膝小僧を洗ったの。
She remembers. The dream I was having.
ジュースは飲んではいけないって言われてたから、お水だったのよね。本当は残念だったけど、でもそのおかげで、ゆずりはの怪我を癒せてよかった。
Cute. On that trip, I'd shared my first proper handshake with the girl who would become my best friend.
それで肩を貸して歩き出そうとしたら、痛くてゆずりはが泣き出して、その時もこうして背負ったのよ。
Oh,
覚えている？
okay. So it has a history, okay. The carrying in the bag. Oh. How could I forget?
はあ、覚えているよ。さあまだ私、ゆずりはを背負えるわ。頼りになるでしょ。
Do you even need to ask? Nerine Komikado is a hero to me. And
最高に頼れる親友だよ。
my vision blurs with tears. The more I try to fight them, the more the tears well up, ready to batter down the dam holding the floods back. Yuzuriha Yatsushiro. All over again. I've been made to recognize these feelings carved deep into my heart.
どうしようもなく、コミカドネリネが好きなんだ。
There it is. I grit my molars hard to try and contain the emotions that are threatening to explode out of me. My nose is stinging. She comes to a stop and turns her head like she's listening to the sounds of a festival far off in the distance. Then,
よかった。みんな来てくれたわよ。
spotting the concerned cooking club members rushing our way, she turns to me with a smile as clear as the winter sky. I look down so that she won't see my tears and nod. As she waves to them, from over my friend's shoulder, I watch the club members rush towards us. Suo Shirahane, Ichigo Sasaki, and Ringo Sasaki. Seeing her face makes me feel incredibly melancholy. Whatever the situation, it's up to you. Whether or not you're able to laugh it off, all depends on how you feel. My father's words. But what if they had come from my mother? There would be another unsaid line tacked on. You can't laugh without a heart. I squash down my feelings and smile at her, like I'm gazing off into the distance at my receding dream. Ay.
オズの魔法使いという童話がある。魔法使いへ会うためエメラルドの町へと急ぐドロシーたちの耳に恐ろしい方向が聞こえてきた。たけだけしい方向の主はライオン。かかしをブリキをなぎ倒し、ドロシーの飼い犬トトを噛み殺そうとする。ドロシーは我が身を顧みずトトを救い、ライオンの鼻先をピシャリと叩いた。勇敢なドロシーへライオンは自分が臆病者だということ、小さい犬が向かってきたことで驚き、噛み殺そうとしたのだと告げる。ライオンは己の臆病さに苦悩し、ドロシーたちへ同行を願う。オズへ己の臆病さを消してもらいたいがために。私にとっての重要なキャラクター、3人目の仲間、臆病ライオン。この章でドロシーは言う。あなたに脅されちゃうなんて、私に言わせれば他の野獣たちの方があなたより臆病だわ、と。 しかしだからといって僕は勇敢な気持ちにはなれない。自分が臆病だって自分が知っている限り僕は不幸せなんだ、とライオンは告げた。そう、大勢の者から勇敢だと称えられていても、本人が得心していなければそれは確かな不幸なのだ。これから始まる物語は自分の気持ちを偽り続ける臆病ライオンのお話。
Sadness.
だいぶ寒くなってきたな。
I let out a long breath of air, but it's not quite cold enough yet for it to turn white. Still,
衣装が衣装だからだろうけどね。
I mean, if your breath would turn white in the place where you're doing ballet in those clothes, I would be very worried. Our ballet outfits remain the same regardless of the season, although we do get to wear a cardigan when we're not dancing.
はい、次は3班の方、中央へ。
It will be my turn soon enough. No time to feel the benefits of pulling on a cardigan, unfortunately.
11月も中旬だものな。
We're well into autumn, although the temperature has me feeling like it's already early winter. Maybe I'm just susceptible to the cold, though. I watched the lesson without really taking any of it in.
はい、次は4班の方。
I'll be up next. I'm moving into a corner of the room, ready to do some warm-up stretches.
ゆずりはさん、ちょっといいかしら。
One of my classmates who's just been up dancing comes over to me, panting heavily. I already know what she's going to ask. As predicted, she asks me about her ballet performance.
君の踊りを見ていたけど、欠点らしい欠点はなかったよ。
そう。
ただそうだな。ジュテの際に十分に手首足首に力が入っていないように見えた。怪我のもとだし、見栄えも悪くなるからね。
She nods, seeming on board with my critique.
さて、それ
She looks up at me with concern as I lapse into a cough and asks me if I'm okay.
空気が乾燥しているのかな。さて。
Group 5 to the floor, please. Sister Basket's voice echoes around the room, and I throw her a wink as I tell her I gotta go dance. After our ballet lesson,
大丈夫？
I furrow my brows at the question.
大丈夫とはひどいじゃないかネリー。僕が肥満体型に見えたってことかい？
How did we get to... what? I'm sorry. She catches me as I'm getting undressed. My best friend blinks back at me.
違うわ。そういう意味で言ったのではないの。
She answers back.
確かにバレエの踊り手だったら体重は身長から110から120引いたくらいが好ましいと聞く。なら僕はギリギリ OK じゃないかな。
だから
それにねネリー、体重をあまりに減らすと生理が減ってしまうのだよ。
How
健
does
康
this...
上いいとは言えないんじゃないかな。
How does this work even in Japanese? Like, you ask someone if they're alright and... Is she just trying to deflect from the cough or something? Because I don't see how semantically you would arrive from "are you alright" to "oh, are you asking if I'm getting fat?"
だから違うの。
She raises her voice, her cheeks flushed. I smile and tell her that my ankle is perfectly fine.
それが聞きたいんじゃなかったのかい？
I'd thought the sprain I incurred when we went leaf viewing was a bad one, but apparently the decision not to move it was wise. I have Neri's fireman's lift to thank for that.
それもそうなのだけど。
ん？
もしかしたら私の風邪をうつしたのかと思って。今日何度か咳き込んでいたでしょ。
She's sure been keeping a beady eye on me.
空気が乾燥しているからね。喉がイガイガしているだけさ。大したことはない。
Sorry. Yuzu reflexively deflects when she doesn't know what to do, I think. Yeah, it seems to be like her thing. And deflects into self-deprecation somehow, always.
本当に？
本当さ。疑うならブリッジしてみせようか。
I raise both my hands above my head, and she quickly assures me that she believes me.
バレエで推奨されているストレッチの一つなんだがね。
Ever since we started ballet lessons, Neri's clearly had something against the bridge. It's a very effective stretch for strengthening the back and abdominal muscles. I don't get what's so embarrassing about it. I smile wryly to myself when I hear Neri's quiet voice.
私に気遣っているならもう平気なのよ。だから保健室へ行きましょう。付き添うからね。
This girl carried me on her back. She protected me. But ever since then...
もしかして僕の様子がおかしいと思っているのかい？
それは
おかしくない僕を見つけるのは宝くじを当てるより難しいってネリーも知っているだろう？
I grin at her and she stares back at me for a moment.
そうね。
She smiles faintly. A cat has absolute emotional honesty. Ernest Hemingway's words, but that's not why they come to mind as I sit before my quintessential autumn dish of grilled mackerel pie. Ooh, Kumasawa would approve of that.
もみじ狩りでのネリーのせい。
And the answer I have yet to give to Ringo Sasaki-kun. I'd been thinking of spilling my feelings to Yaegaki-kun. She of the cat-like smile.
根っこのところは真面目で面倒見がいいが、その前に死ぬほどからかわれる。
I vow to put the brakes on that idea before it can really take off.
冷めないうちにがマナーだったな。
Yaegaki-kun taught me that too. According to our resident gourmet, it's the most fundamental courtesy you can show your food.
最近では頭と尻尾を落としておくことが多いが、
I murmur to myself as I cleanly pull out the
個
bones.
人的にそいつは邪道だ。お頭付きが嬉しいのは日本人の差がだよな。
I add the dribble of soy sauce and a blob of grated radish to the bite I carry to my mouth. The fatty seasonal fish is beyond delicious. I take a bite of white rice as I continue to enjoy the taste of the oily fish melting in my mouth. Is there anything better in life than this?
うん、そうそう、まただ。
The mackerel pie's well-cooked innards retain a nice firmness. I pick them up with my chopsticks and place them atop my rice. This salty, slightly bitter taste is delicious too. The trick is to add just the tiniest drop of soy sauce. It transforms the bitterness into something sublime. I wasn't originally fond of bitter tastes, but as I copied my father, I came to appreciate them. Just another one of those things I learned from my dad. As I continue to enjoy my date with the fish. Okay, Yuzu. I perceive a slight rise in the noise level and turn to look at the entrance to the dining hall. Mackerel innards. Maybe she's Kumasawa's granddaughter. I am moving past that at lightning speed. She can enjoy it. I'm okay.
スオ君と花火師君か。
For once, talk about food doesn't elicit hunger in me, just... yeah. It seems all eyes are on Suo-kun, the sprite of the library, and Hanabishi-kun, whose fanbase continues to grow even among the older students. It's a different kind of stir to those I tend to cause. Saying it myself feels rather arrogant, but the stares and murmurs I receive usually denote admiration, while the looks being directed towards these two are of envy. What did they do? Did they just walk in the room and then everyone reacted that way? That's a bit weird. At least it looks to me like jealousy lurks in the eyes turned their way. The two of them turn with their lunch trays in hand.
八代先輩
She comes toward me with a smile.
ごきげんよう八代先輩ご一緒してもよろしいですか
構わないよ。お、スオ君もサンマとは気が合うね。
祖父の好物だったので
Seasonal foods are best eaten at the proper time of year. I watch the two of them as they sit down at the table with me.
花火師君はサラダだけかい？珍しいね。
まあ
It's not like I watch what she's eating every day, but I know she's the type to eat a full lunch, unlike Takasaki-kun.
高崎君の真似かい？
八代先輩もそう思いますよねちょっとした願掛けよ高崎さんのように踊れるように
I don't know if starving yourself would achieve that, but okay. While Suku nods understandingly, I run my gaze down Hanabishi-kun from head to toe and back again.
なるほど。
I nod.
何がなるほどなんです
花火師君はダイエ
その八代先輩調子が悪いと聞きましたが大丈夫なのですかリカさん
Okay, she's clearly embarrassed but doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. Hanabishi-kun clearly doesn't want her Amitia partner to know she's on a diet.
気になる彼女の前だ。五章だな。ネリーに聞いたのかい？
I decide to go along with the change of subject.
はい何でもお風邪を召したようだと
She glances down at my near empty plate.
おかゆではないのですね
She murmurs, seemingly thinking that Nerine must have jumped to a hasty conclusion. However,
風邪でも食欲が落ちないことはあるわ先ほど咳込んでいたみたいですし引き始めですか
I'm not gonna be able to lie my way past Suokun. I've just sprung a fever from being around two hotties. Okay, this feels a little bit too much. I think it's the first one, but let's see. Yeah, it's the first one. This is too much. This is way out there. She looks at me with sincere concern in her big eyes.
スオ君には嘘がつけなそうだね。そうなんだ。少し風邪気味でね。昔から風邪をひきやすい体質でね。季節の変わり目なんかは大敵だよ。
The second one feels like Yuzu deflecting again. Yeah, in grand style. Hanabishi-kun notes her surprise at hearing that, while her Amitia partner leans forward for some reason.
熱は微熱のようですね
大したことはないよ。
Seeing her fine features so close up almost makes me sigh in admiration. Her eyes are deep pools you could easily get sucked down into. The bridge of her nose is perfectly defined. Her lips are delicate as she is. I can't help but stare, enchanted by the fairy-like creature before me.
スオさん何みんな見ているから
So what? At some point, we've drawn the attention of the rest of the dining hall. Realizing that all eyes are on her, Sukun pulls back.
ぶしつけでしたすみません
いや、役得だったよ。
I like that she had just the instinct to do that without wondering or caring in the moment when she did it, because it's a sign that she's come out of her shell and that she cares about Izriha. So I think everything's fine, and this whole all eyes are on us because I don't know, people have some preconceived notion about who we are or should be, and they stare at us when we're trying to have lunch. Like, really, just give me a break. It's sweet, yeah, it's very sweet. It was a caring gesture, and I think it's a cool reaction on her side. I see nothing wrong with that. I smile at her as she shrinks back into her chair.
率直に言うと、体質として体温が低い嫌いがある。風邪をひきやすいんだな。
Right, so you were out in the cold for a while before Neri got to you.
私も一緒です。
スオ君もらしい感じがするね。体温が低いとウイルスへの抵抗が弱く、病気にかかりやすいと父に聞いたな。
It's another thing I inherited from my mother.
そうなの？スオさん、気をつけてちょうだいね。ありがとう、リッカさん。
僕を心配してご機嫌伺いに来たんじゃなかったのかい？
I say pointedly as I savor the last of the mackerel innards. Can we move on, please?
そうでした。
Hanabishikin pokes her tongue out at me as she lifts a forkful of celery to her mouth. Yes, another piece of food that is not appealing.
体を冷やすのだけは避けてくださいね。すぐ悪化してしまいますから。
I mean, I use celery in cooking, but I've never had it raw in a salad. I don't know if I could.
体温が低い同士、お互いに気をつけよう。この時期は体温調節も難しい。
最近朝晩は寒くなってきましたものね。
She adds, intensely focused on slicing a cucumber. Subsisting on salad alone can be good for your health. Perhaps with that thought in mind, Soken fetches some bread rolls from the kitchen, spreads one with butter, and gallantly hands it over to her Amitia partner. Oh no, now that sounds amazing, especially if the bread is like maybe a little bit warm, fresh from the oven. Oof. Ah. She accepts it with a smile. Her delight at Suokun's concern must trump her worries over her weight. Yeah, that's okay.
仲睦まじい限りだ。
That's good. It serves to wash off the mackerel innards memory.
八代先輩も食べますか？
いただこう。
I accept a roll from her, but immediately pass it to Suokun. My perceptive underclassman helpfully slathers it with butter for me. Bread without butter is like the red hot chili peppers without wow, I don't know how to read that. Hillel Slovak? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I've listened to the red hot chili peppers. I don't know the names of the people in the band. Oops.
はい、どうぞ。
ありがとう。いただくよ。
We all focus on our food for a while. After the bread has been demolished. Demolished? What? And we're drinking a post-lunch coffee. Hanabishikin plucks the final mini tomato from her plate, pops it into her mouth, then elegantly dabs at her lips with a napkin.
合唱会までには風邪治しておいてくださいね。
She says in a joking tone. Suokun must not have heard about it as she asks what this contest is. Answer honestly, I want to hear you sing, Suokun. I feel like this time we're not gonna be honest. Let's see. I want to hear you sing, yes. This time we're going with the joke. I explained that it's one of Saint Angrecum's annual events, and yet another organized by the Council of Nicaea.
合唱会があることは年間で知っていましたが、この時期なんですね。1年生から3年生まで競うのよ。ちょっとした合唱コンクールみたいでしょ？
As a member of the choir club, she's clearly fired up with enthusiasm. It's very sweet to see.
そうか。1年生も参加するのだから、スオ君も歌うのだね。え？きっとスオ君の歌声は、夏の白もやの煙る森の中から細く長く聞こえてくる妖精のような絶えなる調べなのだろうね。
Poor Suo, the pressure.
ああ、すまない。無理やりにハードルを上げてしまうところだったよ。
She heaves a deep sigh of relief at my words.
スオさんのことですもの。 きっと目が冴えるような素晴らしい歌声だわ。早く聞きたいです。
ああ、期待しているよ、スオくん。
I grin apologetically as she flaps her hands around, then mutter to myself that I really do need my throat to recover in time for the contest.
つまり合唱部は各学年の合唱とは別に歌うのですね。
She asks ever the great detective. She's drawn out the subtext of what I was saying, and I hold up my hands and joke that she's got me.
最後の鳥を合唱部が行うのが伝統なのさ。だから花火師くんとしては僕の喉の具合が気にかかるというわ。
純粋に体のことも気遣っていますよ。
どうも。そうだ。なら部屋に来て看病してくれるかい？
I'm just joking around, but...
私は構いません。病気の時はお互い様だもの。いいわよね、スオさん。
Rika is like me in some ways, in the sense of... She takes things very seriously. She's a serious person. I am the same. I feel her in this regard. Those two must live in a kinder, more innocent world than I, as they don't seem to have picked up on the less than innocent implications of my joke.
冗談だよ。まだ弾き始めだ。看病されるほどじゃない。
大丈夫ですか？
I nod, although I think I felt a slight fever come on during the course of our conversation.
伝統のある一番だ。責任重大なことは分かっている。
Yeah, she
大
is.
会までには万全にしておくさ。
Oh, Bea. It's just this one trait. I feel like I would have reacted similarly in the situation. Like, I also would have taken it seriously and I would have been, yes, please come around. I will gladly treat you to tea and, like, you know. Yeah. I stand and pick up my tray. All joking aside, I really have developed a fever. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten so much?
放課後、合唱部でまた会おう。今日は課題曲決めだ。
Since when does eating cause fever? We haven't decided on what we're going to sing yet. Forcing my surprisingly lethargic body along, I wave down at the two younger girls, then exit the dining hall. My underclassmen had warned me. Walking down the corridor, I feel like I'm burning up.
嫌な熱の出方だな。
It's not an instantaneous rush of heat like a kettle. Instead, it's a slow and creeping, like it's searching for the exact temperature I'll be able to bear. As someone with a naturally weak constitution, I already know the best methods for dealing with it. Eat something, crawl into bed, and sleep for as long as you can. That'll usually take care of a sudden fever. However,
ネリーに心配をかけたくはないからな。
my best friend worries about me more than herself, and I don't want to get her fretting if I can help it. Which is why I'm now heading somewhere I'd usually have no reason to go. As I walk along, I look out the windows. The bare branches of the cherry trees shudder in the wind like the silent bony fingers of the dead. That's a description I never thought I'd read about cherry trees. The season is already trying to push on from autumn to winter.
あれは
The sound of a door closing brings my attention away from the window and toward its source. Recognizing the student who's just left the nurse's office, I raise my hand and call out to her. Hearing her name, she looks my way.
ごきげんよう、八代先輩。久しぶりですね。
She greets me with her usual feline smile.
ここ最近、二階屋の貝絡みと部の絡みで忙しくてね。なんだい？もしかして僕が恋しかったのかな？
冗談。ただ久しぶりに八代先輩が入れたコーヒーが飲みたくなっただけですよ。
I can't help but smile smugly at the praise. I'm not a fan of coffee myself, but it's a skill I cultivated for my best friend's sake.
何ですか？何か企んでいるんですか？
いや、純粋に嬉しかっただけさ。それで、 八重垣くんはどうしたんだい？保健室の前だが。そうか。あれが重くて薬をもらっていたんだね。
And flows in town. Okay, Yuzu.
驚いた。正解ですよ。自分は重い方なんで絶不調ってやつです。
She listlessly shows me a package that must contain painkillers. It's rare for her to respond with such honesty. No.
もともと八重垣くんは律儀な性格だったか。
I think a person's true nature comes out in answer to such questions. There are some people who hold to an unreachable internal watershed. Eh? They hold to an unbreachable, there it is. That's the reason why the sentence didn't make sense. Unbreachable internal watershed, and they often find themselves unable to answer a question. It's almost like they don't even hear what they're being asked. Sister Basket and I are representatives of this type. At least you are aware of it. Yaigaki-kun, however, isn't like that. At first I thought she was the same as me, but actually she'll give an answer to any question you ask her. It might not be completely truthful one, but it's an answer nevertheless. I'm sure this quality must be something one is born with.
そうかい？僕は軽い方だから君の痛苦は想像できないが、よかったら。そうだ。お腹をさすってあげようか。
調子悪い時に笑わせるのはよしてくださいよ。腹なんてさすってもらっているのを千鳥が見たら。
I can already imagine her face. She cuts herself off, her cheeks turning a bright shade of red.
ま、そこは言わぬが花ってやつです。で、それで八代先輩は保健室に何の用なんですか？まさか悩み相談？
悩みは常に抱えているよ。みんなのハートを奪いすぎているからね。
下腹だけでなく頭まで痛くなったんで、それじゃ。
冗談だよ冗談。今八重垣くんが言ったそのものズバリさ。
なるほど。腹痛ですか。こいつは忠告ですが、廊下に落ちているものは食べない方がいいですよ。
She smiles cattily as she gets her revenge barb in. I respond that it's hard for me to resist.
廊下に落ちているもの。今なら君がそうじゃないのかな？
I open my mouth wide and lean in toward her neck. Her face immediately turns scarlet. What the heck?
先輩、マジで勘弁してくださいよ。
Oh my god.
何が？
さっきも言ったでしょ。自分はめんどくさい相棒を抱えているんですよ。
Sidekick. I like the sound of that. It's a pet name I'll never obtain for myself.
そうだね。尻を蹴られたくない？
Chidori is about to walk in, I feel it. When I slowly pull away, Yaigaki-kun releases a sigh of relief.
八代先輩にはかなわない。
一年の生まれの差はなかなか厳しいものがあるのだよ。で、正解を言うと、僕がここに来たのは頭痛だよ。
Aren't you here for a fever? She blinks at me and asks if I have a cold. I respond in the affirmative. Ah, okay, so she has a headache too.
へえ、八代先輩でも風邪なんてひくんですね。
それは君のクラスの委員長様からにも言われたよ。僕は存外デリケートなのさ。
知ってる中で繊細なのは白羽だけかと思ってましたよ。
Sinus headache? Yeah, could be.
それも言われた。
I smile at her. She puts a hand to her chin thoughtfully as she regards me.
熱のない風邪なら風呂に入るのも手ですよ。
She says, "You gonna join me? Thanks for your concern." God damn. I hope it's not you gonna join me, please. It's thanks for your concern, thank God. Thank God, my heart is back. Please, I didn't want to make this choice. I've heard that for colds, which aren't accompanied by a fever, taking a bath and raising your body temperature can boost your immune system. So I know she's not just trying to get back at me.
そいつは
Are we reading the harem route? Why is Yuzu raising everyone left, right, and left? I think that's just her natural state of being, in a sense, as well.
もしかして騙されてるとかって思ってます？さすがに病人相手にタチの悪い嘘はつきませんよ。
Defense mechanism to avoid raising on Neri. Aye. Aye.
いや、ちゃんとではないが、僕も耳かじったことがあったんだよ。だから知っていたのさ。
Yagakikan scratches her head and mumbles something about overstepping.
でも、心配してくれたんだろ？ありがとう。
I thank her.
どうしたんだい？
いや、八代先輩らしくないの。
She looks away, her cheeks flushed. It's okay, it's not like I'm marching off to war tomorrow. I promise her. She looks taken off guard for a moment before her usual feline smile curves across her face.
なんだか真ん中の姉と話してるようです。
She's holding back so much riz for Neri, it's overflowing onto everyone else. Yeah, I guess so. I tell her I am honored.
さっきの話に戻りますが、人の体は37度台の時に最も免疫力が強くなるって話なんです。だから熱が高くなければ10分から20分くらい入るといいって話ですよ。
But she does have a fever, so it doesn't apply here. I don't know why she said she went there for a headache. Like, she recognizes she has a cold, but she's upfront only about having a headache, not about the fever. I'm so confused. She goes on to say that any longer than that isn't recommended. Yeah, I can imagine you'll pass out if you have a fever.
ずいぶんと詳しいんだね。
I mean, actually, even if you don't, if you're in hot water for that long, it's, yeah.
長女が繊細だったんで対処法はなんとなく覚えたんですよ。千鳥のやつも。
She stops and considers for a moment whether or not she should share this with me.
相棒も体が弱いってことはないんですが、季節柄喉を痛めないか話してましてね。部屋で金魚でも飼えないかって話してたんですよ。
What does a goldfish has? What? My body temperature is 36.9. Sickness never gets to me. Alright. Before I have a chance to ask about the relevance of the goldfish, like what the heck, she goes on to answer my unspoken question.
水槽があると湿度がぐっと増すんです。加湿器いらずってやつなんですよ。
Ah, okay.
そいつはいいことを聞いたな。
Oh, wow. Okay. High humidity can help curb the proliferation of viruses. Perhaps it was partly for my benefit that my father always kept tropical fish.
僕の部屋でも熱帯魚を飼えれば、面倒な薬をもらいに行かなくても済んだのかもしれないね。
もしかして養護教諭が苦手なんですか？
Scared? Why would you be scared?
そんなことはない。ただ、そうだ
Oh,
な。
I see.
相性は悪いのかな。
顔を見ると喧嘩でもしちまうとか？
そうではなくて、純粋に生き合えないんだよ。メジャーリーガーの打率くらいの割合でね。
Okay.
別段、養護教諭もフラフラと席を外す癖があるわけではないのだけどね。
I concluded I probably simply have bad luck.
そうなんですか。必要な時に会えないってのはきついですね。私も一度だけありましたけど、あれは往生したな。
Oh, excuse me. She rubs her stomach. She must have been here in search of painkillers like today. I empathize with her even if it's not something I have experience with myself.
養護教諭が見つからないときは、片場寮長からもらうといい。
寮長からですか？
養護教諭が不在の時も当然あるだろうから、急な病気に対応できるよう、片場寮長が一揃い薬を持っているんだよ。
つまり、飛行機のパイロットみたいに保険で機長と副操縦士がいるわけですね。
A co-pilot. Okay, that's cool. I nod, prefacing that I have to say so what I have to say, with a note that it's not strictly allowed since the dorm mother doesn't have the relevant qualifications.
急に症状が現れた場合、一人だけだと不測の事態に対応できないからの措置だ。真夜中困った時は部屋を訪ねるといい。
いいことを聞きました。だけど夜中はな。
I ask her if there's some problem.
以前夜中に伺ったことがあるんですけど、プライベートなことをしている最中に勝ち合ってしまいまして。
まさか。
Something private? What could it be other than getting ready for bed? I gasp, wondering if it could have been something X-rated. Ugh,
針仕事をしているところですよ。裁縫をしている時にドアを開けたものだから慌てて指を刺してしまって。らしくないって思ってるんでしょうね。
Ay, ay, ay. She doesn't have an in-game sprite, but there's an official art of her. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, great. Can you share that in the server? I would love to see it.
片場寮長の裁縫好きは公然の秘密なのだけどね。
Just like me, she enjoys girly things, but because people don't expect it of her, she has to hide it.
そうなんですか?
That's a bit sad.
ああ、女子力ってやつが高いのさ。ダメになった歯切れを集めてテーブルクロスにしたりとかね。
Oh, that's so cool.
まさしく女子力だ。
She's crafty. I love that.
どちらかというと母親力ってな感じじゃないですか?
Now that she mentions it, that's true. I nod and we share a smile.
おっと、養護教諭のお出ましだ。早く行かないと逃してしまう。
打率を下げるために。
She flashes me a feline smile as I make to leave.
そうだ。月末の合唱会、楽しみにしているよ。
I tell her.
私の嫌いな語句は1番目がしとやかで2番目が合唱なんですよ。
Oh, Erika. Her smile disappears and she rolls off gracefully, just like a cat. Wow.
静養してなさいって言ったじゃない。
Oh well, I mean, it was a fun conversation. Yeah. Please, I beg you to excuse me for a couple minutes. I quickly need the bathroom. I've been quite thirsty in the past hour, so I've been drinking a lot of water, and so yeah. I usually try not to interrupt stream with this, but this time, bear with me for a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, here I am. I use the be right back screen so rarely these days that I couldn't even find it in the list. It was like really, really down there. Okay, it's okay. We're back. Let's go. She sure did, but
こいつは食分ってやつだ。
as one of the many members of the choir club, I could probably have gotten away with skipping out and resting in my room, but I also have my duties as president of the Council of Nicaea. I have to be present at the meeting to decide what song the club will sing to close out the choral contest.
ではみんなの意見から新しく転入した方たちのためにも分かりやすく歌唱しやすい賛美歌にいたしましょう。
Given her accommodating nature, this was inevitable, I grumbled to myself. Personally, I'd been wanting to show off all the fancy singing techniques we've learned. I look around at everyone's faces as they nod along, as though in search of someone who will agree with me. Neri calls out to Hokama-san, our keyboardist.
私たち合唱部は3曲歌唱することになっています。2曲は聖歌を、そして1曲はいわゆる通常の合唱曲を歌うのが伝統です。
Hokama-san, sitting on the piano stool with her fingers poised over the keys, catches Neri's look and begins to play.
これは
It's a familiar, nostalgic melody that warms my soul. I heard it so many times as a child.
有名な曲なので聞いたことがある方もいるでしょう。
She scans the faces before her like she's looking for something in their expressions. Then her gaze comes to rest on me.
ゆずりは
The word drives a wedge into my chest.
これは虹の魔法じゃないか。
Rainbow magic? I whisper, my voice hoarse. I don't know what it is. It's a fictional song. Oh, okay. My father often made up stories for me. Oui, tiny again. This happened when I was young, in particular when my mother was hospitalized while pregnant with my brother. I was staying then in the home of my paternal grandmother. Paternal grandmother. I was afraid of the big old house with its thatched roof and low-hanging beams, and was unable to sleep properly at night. However, on the rare occasions when my father would get home before my bedtime, he'd gently tuck me into my futon and tell me a story. Oh, that's so cute. Ah, it's the OP. Okay, got it. When I was with my father, the fear faded away and I'd drift off to sleep in the middle of the tale. The stories he told me weren't time-honored folk tales nor twists on real-life history. They were fairy tales of his own creation. Delightful, funny stories that would keep me awake laughing. Melancholic tales, this time, that would have me soaking my pillow with tears. Nonsensical stories that amazed my childish mind. All of them served as precious nourishment for my soul. And so, I don't think it's such a strange outcome that I became a book lover. As a gloomy, introvert child, I would sit by myself in the classroom, flipping through the pages of a book. Thanks to my father's influence, my genre of choice was fantasy. Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Charles Kingsley's The Water Babies, a fairy tale for a land baby. But the novel that I loved most was The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Lyman Frank Baum. I saw the characters in the book as projections of myself and those around me. The Tin Woodman without a heart was me, and the Cowardly Lion was Nerineko Mikado. We'd become friends after the incident on our school trip, but I still couldn't get close to her. So cute, and it looks like her right hand is held out trying to hold the hand of another. Yeah, it's because you remember in the earlier picture, there was a red string tying her right hand to Neri's left hand. Very cute. The reason was simple. She wasn't a loner like I was. Nerine had lots of friends, and she couldn't pay attention only to me. Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's really cute when they're both on the screen. Maybe they'll show that again. I never spoke to her when she was with her other friends, but when she was alone, I would pluck up my courage and say a few words. By a stroke of good luck, though, it turned out that our houses were close together and we shared the same route home. My journey to and from school became the happiest part of my day. When I couldn't be around her, I'd bury my head in a book, occasionally sneaking glances her way whenever my eyes grew tired. There she would be, laughing with her friends, the center of the class. But to my eyes, Nerine Komikado seemed somehow afraid. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. She looked, but she didn't seem to really see. Like the cowardly lion, I felt that she was hiding some inner frailty from the world. Then, one day, tired of laughing, she left her circle of friends and came over to me to ask what I was reading. It was the first time she'd spoken to me in front of other people, and I found myself lost for words. She looked at the cover of the book in my hands.
オズの魔法使い私も好きなの
She said. Then she gazed down at the page I had open.
いいわよね銀の靴ってどこへでも行ける
So pretty, she commented. There are 3 reasons I loved The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and one of them was those silver shoes. If I had those silver shoes, I could be with my mother in the hospital in an instant. Even though I was well aware it was just a fantasy, I still thought to myself just how wonderful that would be. And so I was shocked to find that Nerine Komikado held those same feelings in her heart. She stared at me like she'd seen something in my face.
3度靴のかかとを鳴らしてごらん
She said this and... Why did it cut off so abruptly? That feels so weird. An amber-colored wall materializes before me. I can still see the hazy outline of the scene through it.
夢を見ていたのか
I'd been dreaming of the moment when Nerine first approached me in the classroom to ask about the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Lying on my bed in the dim room, I finally remember where I am and why I'm here.
気分が悪くなって寝入っていたんだな
Reaching up to my forehead, my fingers brush a cool towel.
無理をして部に顔を出すからよ
Aww. Startled by the sudden interjection, I turned my gaze in the direction from which it came.
気分はどう
I look up to the concerned face of my best friend.
そうだ放課後
I remember at choir club, after we'd finished selecting the songs we were going to sing at the choral contest and were heading back to our rooms, I was overcome with the sensation that my legs didn't belong to me. It was like my heels weren't connecting with the ground. My entire body was weak and sluggish, and I realized I was now in the throes of a full-blown cold. My best friend put her arm around my shoulders and led me back to the dormitories.
吐き気はない大丈夫なようならお薬飲める
昔と逆だな
Mm-hmm.
子供の頃さよくネリーを看病した
もっと前はゆずり葉の方がよく風邪をひいていたじゃないそれに
If you can talk this much, then you can definitely handle some medicine. She says, handing me a glass of water and 2 pills. Yeah, gotta take care of yourself and not just slip it off. Or attempt to slip it off.
これだけ汗をかけばあとは下がるだけさありがとう
I gulp down the medicine. The cool water rushes almost violently down my parched throat. My body flushed with fever is grateful for the coldness suddenly permeating it. It's a big glass of water, but I drain it in one long gulp.
お水もっといる
I tell her yes, please. staring hungrily as she pours more from the condensation wreath pitcher. I feel you, I'm super thirsty too.
どうぞ。
やっと落ち着いたよ。
I drained the second glass just as fast. My body is craving liquid after sweating out so much.
そんな体で部活に出ていたのね。
熱はだいぶ引いたみたいだ。で、二階屋の会から何か報告はないかい？
She leans in and pinches my nose, telling me I'm unbelievable.
1年生の子が農場に来ていたキツネ。タヌキかしら。それを餌付けしてたって報告があったくらいだわ。
そいつは大事だ。
Yeah, don't try to befriend wild animals.
怪我をしていたそうだからかわいそうだけど、
Ah, it's
マスキ
injured,
や教諭
okay.
が対処してくれたそうよ。
なら問題ないか。
She giggles at my nasal voice. All is right with the world. Nettie keeps things running smoothly even when I'm not around. Her smiling face reminds me that I have nothing to worry about. Butcher Basket back at it again. I would hope that was not the case. Taking my nod as confirmation that I'll stop fussing, she releases my nose from her pincer grip.
なんだかお腹が減ってきたな。
That's when I realize that it's completely dark outside the
こ
windows.
いつは夕食には間に合わなかったか。
食欲が湧いているなら、風邪もこれ以上ひどくならないわね。
食べ逃したと分かったら、がぜん食欲が湧いてきたよ。
大丈夫よ。とある先生が夜食を持ってきてくれることになっているから。
A staff member? Now who would do something nice like that? Sister Basket, dorm mother Katabami. Sister Basket? Ah, no, it's dorm mother. Okay.
片上寮長か。
The embodiment of all things girly. I try and fail to stifle a snicker.
どうしたの？お腹が痛いの？
あ、いや、失礼な話なんだが、思い出し笑いだよ。
It was only a little while back that I was discussing the woman who, like me, is considered the opposite of everything feminine, yet it feels like ages ago.
あ、ほらあんまり動いたらタオルが落ちてしまうわ。
She picks up the towel that slipped down off my forehead. I feel her dainty fingers affectionately brush my cool skin.
ネリ
熱はだいぶ下がったのかしらね。でも今日一日はおとなしくしないとダメよ。
She neatly refolds the towel and places it back on my forehead.
もう少ししたら片上寮長がお手製の栄養たっぷりの海の幸入りおかゆを持ってきてくれるそうよ。
Seafood soup, okay.
貝柱で出汁を取るとかかな。楽しみだ。片上寮長の料理上手は耳にしてるからね。
一度料理部で講師に来てもらうのもいいかもしれないわね。
She's skilled at sewing, teaches gardening classes, and she's an excellent cook. However,
男勝りで女子らしいことが似合わないか。私のようじゃないか。
I don't know, like, I understand why traditionally, probably you would assign these things like a feminine vibe, but I feel like at least cooking and just being able to maintain a house is a skill set that anyone should develop regardless of gender. So, oh well.
ん？ゆずりは今失礼なことを考えていたでしょう。
ネリーにはかなわないな。
Oh, sorry. Not wanting her to know that I was thinking disparagingly of myself for the nth time, I forced a cynical smile to my face. Nettie gently brushes my hair back from my face.
片上寮長が来るまでもう一眠りしなさい。
さっき起きたばかりだ。寝つけないよ。
I look up at her amber form as she puts a hand to her chin.
歌を歌ってくれれば眠れる気がする。
Yeah, sing me a lullaby, Neri. I say.
歌聖歌とか？
そこは子守歌で頼むよ。そうだな。
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And that other memory that took root deep in my heart.
虹の魔法を歌ってくれないか？
There actually isn't a single scene in the game where she isn't at the very least self-deprecating. I can see that.
まだちゃんと練習していないから。
聞きたいんだよ。頼む。
Oh, are we also going to hear it? Can we please also hear it? I'm back to feeling like I did as a kid. I stare up at her earnestly until she strikes a grin like the sun breaking through the clouds.
いいわ。でもミスをしても笑ったら嫌よ。
She straightens up and I can feel the pulse of her quiet, steady breathing. She takes one long, deep breath. Then, I slowly close my eyes at the first notes, as the first notes reach my ears. I've never really done what you would call practice. It's a talent I inherited from my mother. After I've seen something once, I can reproduce it, like I'm making a copy of the original. That goes for things like studying, Bible classes, learning the violin, and ballet. And it goes for choir too.
だが、こいつは一度見たからそれで終わりという類のものじゃない。
The song was too pure for our ears. Yeah, unfortunately, I was kind of expecting it. I think the only one that they actually allowed us to hear singing was Chidori so far, right? And Erika with her. Even if I can reproduce all the songs, the throat is like a blade. If you don't maintain it, it will rust. I understand the comparison, but the throat is like a blade. Suddenly... I don't know, it created a weird sensation. Although I finally recovered from my cold.
ここなら、まあ問題ないだろう。
My best friend, worried that I'm not completely back to full health, still won't permit me to come to choir club. Yuri, well, of course, yeah, you're right. She sang during the Ascension thing. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, exactly. It creates a painful like sensation when you read just that sentence. The throat is like a blade, or like a sword, however it was. Right. She's told me to stay in my room, which is why I'm now going to the forest to sing. Because that makes a lot of sense.
合唱に関しては、ある程度練習しておく必要がある。
If I'm truly going to charm people with the song I learn, it will require a certain amount of fine-tuning from me. If I don't use my vocal cords for even a day, it will hinder my voice. If I was happy being just good enough, then I wouldn't need to do anything in particular. However, good enough isn't good enough for me when it comes to this contest. Rainbow Magic. The song we'll be choosing the contest with holds a special meaning for me. Even if I were singing it alone, I wouldn't want to settle for good enough. All the more since I'll be singing with Neri.
さて。
First, you have to start with vocal exercises. You take a stance in which you lean your body weight forward slightly with your feet shoulder width apart. You loosen your knees while making sure not to settle your weight on your heels. Then you puff out your chest while keeping your back straight. The next thing to be aware of is abdominal breathing. Clench the pit of your stomach as if in an effort to lower your diaphragm. Make sure not to overclench and tense up. Then you need to open up your palate, creating space in your mouth for the sound to vibrate through. After going through all these steps, I open my mouth. After hearing it once, I never forget the phrase. The familiar lyrics flow smoothly up my throat and out into the air. My rhythm and pitch are perfect. It's a far cry from Neri's singing. There isn't a big difference in our skill levels or ability to project our voices, nor is it a matter of tone or any other such subjective factor. It's something you're born with, a natural ability like being able to whisper to horses. Is that a thing? Or carve an image of the Buddha from a single block of wood. That is a natural ability? I mean, no wonder she is constantly self-deprecating. She believes people are born with the ability to carve Buddha out of a block of wood. Music resides in some people's souls, but not others. Music runs in Nerine Komikado's veins. The presence or absence of this factor is decisive in the world of song, and creates a clear divide between the haves and have-nots. I don't know, I don't like the sound of this. I feel like if you are passionate enough about something, even if you don't have this whatever thing is perceived as natural talent, you can train for it, and then your desire to level up, let's say, in this skill is what creates the passion, and like it puts your own imprint into whatever thing you're trying to do. And that is fine. So it's... Oh, Yuzu. Oh, this is so hard. It is insidious in a way, but constantly believing that the world is divided into haves and have-nots, and the ones that are in the haves camp just got it naturally, and there's nothing that you can do, and you've just been cursed to be a have-not all your life. This does something to a person. It does something to your psyche. It just makes you really believe that you can't do things. And so you go through life giving up on them or not trying them hard enough. And it's so sad. Don't do that to yourselves, please. Wait, are there really people who can't carve the likeness of Buddha from wood? Yeah. Please, if you catch yourselves having these kind of thoughts, just maybe try to look at your own self with a little bit more, I don't know, compassion and kindness. And if you really want to do something, just go for it and give yourself the time to grow and trust that it's a process and stuff. Don't come to these already formed conclusions that you can't do something. It's so sad. It's so sad to me. Anyway, let's keep going.
肩を並べなくとも足を引っ張るわけにはいかない。
Right now, the most important thing is to train my voice. Technique can come
ごきげ
later.
んよう、八代先輩。
Oh, hello. A sharp voice behind me makes me turn around.
隠れて練習ですか？コミカド先輩が悲しまれますよ。
Here's another one of those chosen few with music in their soul, frowning at me.
エリカ、ちょっといい？
Poor Yuzu. Sometimes it's easier to notice your own flaws than the flaws of others, and it can make you feel inadequate. Yeah, it is, of course. Of course but you know, this will always be the case. You will always know your flaws so much better than other people. And I think one of the very big mistakes that we make is to assume that other people don't have flaws, and that whatever we see them being proficient at comes naturally for them. Because very likely there has been a lot of effort and a struggle on their side to get to that point as well. And then we don't give them the benefit of acknowledging their effort. We're just like, oh, it's just natural talent. It's just flowing in your veins. It's not flowing in mine. Just whatever. I am cursed by fate or something. And you're doing yourself a disservice But then you're also doing those people in the service because you're not fully acknowledging them. So yeah. Chidori's sprite in the setting sun is love. Yes, she's so cute.
お前はいいところで毎度毎度邪魔しやがって。ペッパー警部飼ってんだよ。
She says from her position on the bed. Looking up from her book, she sees me with Takasaki-kun, then tosses it down and cracks her neck.
保証警部？
That's fine.
悪かったよ、古いボケで。それで今日はどんな用件なんですか、八代先輩。
She asks me from atop the bed. I tell her how, for certain reasons, I can't go to choir club today. Certain reasons. And how, just as I'd been about to start practicing myself for the choral contest at the end of the month, I'd encountered Takasaki-kun and told her I'd be singing Rainbow Magic. And that she'd offered to give me some training since she'd practiced the song many times in her own vocal lessons.
千鳥が八代先輩をナンパしてきた理由は分かったが、どうして森でなんて。
She stops when she sees the sweet pea in Takasaki-kun's hand. She was already holding out the cut flower when she called out to me.
意外と義理深いじゃねえかよ。
義理が廃ればこの世は闇よ、でしょ？
I want to ask them the meaning and origin behind those words, but...
ということで、この部屋で歌唱の指導を受けるということになったんだが、構わないかな。
Sensing from their expressions that it's not my place to ask, I settle for a concisely stated request.
まあ別にいいですけど、声は抑え気味でやった方がいいですよ。防音設備完備じゃないですからね。
I'm relieved to be given the okay from the head of the household.
それでは始めましょう。
無理を聞いてもらって悪いね。
バレエでは私の方がお世話になっていますから、お互い様というやつです。
She flashes me a rare smile and I smile back.
それではまず発声練習から行いましょう。発音は丁寧で美しいです。微濁音、子音、抑揚に気をつけ歌えています。
でも
Sensing that there's more she wants to say, I give her a
気になっ
prod.
たのはフレーズ。まとまりでのブレスの際、前の音が短くなっている嫌いがありましたので、そこを注意するといいと思います。
なるほど。
I thought I was reproducing the song faithfully, but it seems I've actually been changing it to suit my own needs.
有名な曲だから私も聞いたことがあるけど、完璧だと思ったけどな。
歌に完璧はないのよ。完璧を追い求めるのが歌唱なの。
Okay, Chidori.
カトリックの園で善みたいな答えをしやがって、キリストにぶん殴られるぞ。
Takasaki-kun laughs. Yaegaki-kun moves her wheelchair toward me and offers me a cup.
コーヒー通の先輩に出すのは恥ずかしいですが、どうぞ。
心遣い嬉しいよ。
I take a sip of the hot liquid. The bitter, astringent taste clears my head. It's not bad.
悪魔のように黒く、地獄のように熱くってな具合にはいかないですね。
I must have pulled a face. Gotta keep the mask
フラ
on.
ンスの政治家だね。いや、僕好みの味だ。八重垣くんが入れてくれただけはある。天使のように純粋で、愛のように甘い。
I finish the phrase Yaegaki-kun quoted to try and distract her, but she frowns and scratches her head awkwardly, muttering about it being too sweet. I address Takasaki-kun, who's eyeing my coffee enviously.
僕としては完璧を求めたい。他には何か注意点はないかな？
I ask her.
そうですね。あとはイメージですかね。
With regards to my phrasing, I should imagine myself as the original singer. This is a little bit, maybe this, regard to my phrasing? Oh no, it's this one. I should imagine myself as the original singer. I don't know what this means. I wet my lips.
虹の魔法を歌った歌手になりきって演じるということかい？
That doesn't really feel like it should be it. I realized as soon as I've said it that I've got it wrong. She's talking about mental imagery, not the theatrical side of things.
八代先輩があの歌手に？虹の魔法の歌手は清楚系の美人だぞ。断層の霊人ってな具合の八代先輩とはミスマッチだよ。
I think she doesn't realize how hurtful that can be. It once again reinforces in Yuzuriha's mind that she's not supposed to be girly.
エリカ。
いや、すみません。つい想像してしまって。
構わないよ。人には似合う似合わないというのは存在するのだしね。そうだ。せっかくだから八重垣くんにも歌ってもらおうか。どうやら虹の魔法には詳しいみたいだしね。
それいい考えですね。
だろう。そういえば僕は八重垣くんの歌を聞いたことがない。ぜひ聞きたくなってきたね。
いや、その。
なに、虹の魔法の歌手になりきって歌えと無体なことを言っているのではない。ただ君が歌っているのを聞いてみたいだけだ。
私もエリカの虹の魔法聞いてみたいわ。
人前でなんて歌えませんよ。悪かったです。笑ってすみませんでした。これでいいでしょ。
Okay, Erika. She waves her hands in front of her red face. She's used to messing with people, but not being messed with herself.
ま、これで手打ちにしよう。
A taste of her own poison, I guess. I'm about to go back to the topic of imagery, but Yaegaki-kun beats me to the punch, putting a period on our previous conversation with a by the way.
最近また面白い話が持ち上がっているんですけど。
Erika's teasing always backfires, yeah. Oh, more gossip, what is happening? It's a lead-in that I feel like I've heard somewhere before. Another mystery thing.
またそれを笑えない話じゃないだろうね。
なかなかいい感をしてますね。
Ah, there it is.
七不思議の話ですよ。
The seven mysteries. It's been a while, but to be honest, it's not a topic I want to keep returning to.
またお化け騒動でもあったのかい？
The music changed too.
本当なの？
食いつきいいな、おい。話す前にストーリーテラーの喉を湿らせてくれ。
Takasaki-kun obediently pours Yaegaki-kun a cup of coffee along with one for herself and also refills mine.
どうも。さて、それじゃあお楽しみの七不思議の話だが、今学院を賑やかせているのはウェンディゴの話なんだよ。
Okay.
ウェンディゴか。
そう。正式名称は森をさまようウェンディゴ。だから森で千鳥と出くわしたって聞いたとき。
私が噂の真相を探りに行っていたと思った？
How many of the mysteries have we gone through now, I wonder? Oh, I haven't kept count.
まあな。あ、聞いたからって一人で探そうと思うなよ。この季節の森は危険が多い。
Despite assuring Yaegaki-kun that she understands, I can see from the look in Takasaki-kun's eyes that she doesn't.
しかしウェンディゴか。一番眉唾な七不思議が出たな。
Most convenient?
眉唾ってどういうことです？
この学院の七不思議は大元の設定通りじゃない。歪んで伝わっているのさ。高崎くんはウェンディゴのことを知
I
ってい
have
る
no
かい？
idea.
確か精霊ですよね。どことかの。
そうだ。カナダのネイティブアメリカンに伝わる精霊の名だよ。非常に狡猾で人に姿を見せない。
旅人の背後に忍び寄って気配だけは悟らせるが、振り向いても驚くほど素早く姿を見ることはできない。だが何度となく気配はやってくる。
That sounds creepy.
そして精神的に疲弊したところで姿の見えないウェンディゴが話しかけてくるのさ。
She takes a sip of her coffee. Takasaki-kun frowns as she fiddles with her bags.
眉唾。それってつまり姿が見えないから何とでも言えるってこと？
正解。学院のウェンディゴも姿は見えない。
Ah, okay, I see where it's
過去の
convenient.
騒ぎでは素早く移動する白い影が見えたという目撃談が多く、
白い？
ウェンディゴはカナダの厳しい冬の象徴としても描かれている。だから白いと変化したものだと思っていたよ。
She nods discerningly, then remembers to take a drink of coffee. If you leave it too long, it ain't gonna be hot as hell no more.
僕は初めてウェンディゴの話を聞いたとき、ビッグフットのようなイメージを持ったな。
私も似たようなものです。ゲームの影響からですけどね。ま、出典通りなら白い影の方がらしい感じですよね。
She narrows her feline eyes as she moves into the real meat of her story.
七不思議の話が出たのはここ最近。10日ほど前くらいからですかね。森の散策に出た生徒が木々を横切る白い影を見たって話して。
なんだか幽霊譚みたいね。
その話はどれくらい噂になっているんだい？
知ってる人は知ってるってくらいですかね。遠からずみんなの耳に入るくらい。
Oh, sorry. I accidentally scrolled before she finished voicing everything. If it's just rumors and there's been no actual harm done, it shouldn't impede the choral contest. Relieved, I take a sip of my now merely warm coffee.
ねえエリカ、相談なんだけど。
ウェンディゴ探しならパスだぞ。冬も間近だってのに森なんてうろつきたくない。
That is a very sane decision. I approve.
可愛いアミティへの頼みでも？
Why would you want to do that, Chidori? Yaegaki-kun flatly tells her no, but her Amitia partner is a stubborn one. She keeps on at her, trying her best to elicit a promise to go searching for the Wendigo. A chuckle escapes my lips as I watch their back and forth.
ほら、八代先輩にも笑われているだろうが。
おっと、あそこのお兄さんに怒られるから騒ぐのよしなさい。
Yaegaki-kun is looking embarrassed.
まあ僕個人としても森の散策は危ないからね。よした方がいいと思う。
Yeah, case in point.
なんです？
視聴覚室で恐怖映画なんかを見て発散させるのはいいんじゃないかな。妥当な落としどころだろ。
Thrill-seeking queen. Oh gosh. As a movie buff herself, Yaegaki-kun nods to show she has no issue with it. Her Amitia partner too seems surprisingly taken by my idea and offers me a rare and captivating smile.
エリカと映画？あ、それじゃあせっかくだから雪に由来のある恐怖映画が見たいわ。
Well, there we go. That's much better. Gotta have that adrenaline rush, I guess so.
雪な。
She folds her arms and considers. A moment later, her cat-like smile spreads across her face.
それじゃあシベリア超特急でも見るか。おすすめだぞ。
聞いたことがないけど、なんだかロマンチックな響きもあるわね。
それは。いや。
I'm not sure what that is. She puts a finger to her lips and I shoot her a look of pity.
ドッキリとはいえ体を張るな。
I smile wryly, knowing the 90 minutes of pure B-movie torture she's going to have to endure. I don't know what that means. What's a B-movie? I drain the last of the coffee from my cup.
もう一度練習に付き合ってもらえるかな。
I ask a still delighted Takasaki-kun, wholly unaware that she's fallen into Yaegaki-kun's trap. Now that I've completely recovered, at least that's that, I've been deemed able to join in with ballet classes and choir practice again.
秋深しとは言ってもさすがに暑いな。
Having taken some time off, I really gave my all in ballet class today, and now I can't stop sweating. Although this is a nice, healthy sweat, unlike the one brought on by my fever.
完全に回復したみたいね。
動きのキレを見て言ってくれているのかな。だとしたら正解だ。
よく回る口を聞いてよ。
Nettie shoots back a rare joke, and I flash her a dry smile.
授業は受けさせてくれたが、バレエと部活動、2回屋の会の活動も止められていたんだ。実際、鈍っていないか心配だったんだけどね。
でも心配はいらないみたいね。
そうでもない。急に動いたから、明日には筋肉痛で湿布が必要かも。
I mime pressing one to my lower back, and Nettie puts her hand to her mouth to cover her giggle.
大丈夫？上手に貼れる？
おい、僕をいくつだと思っているんだ？もう生理用品だって扱える年だぞ。
そうではなくて、手が届くかってこと。
分かってて言ったのさ。
Of course, my best friend doesn't rise to the bait. Nettie comes over to me.
汗、ずいぶんかいているわね。風、ぶり返してはいない？
She wipes my forehead with her towel, and I catch the sweet scent of lilies.
昨日、保健室へ2人で風邪薬をもらいに行ったじゃないか。もう治っているのにダメ押しだって。
ゆずりは行くの嫌がっていたわ。
もともと薬とは相性が悪い。保健室の先生ともね。
Yeah. I shrug, and she gives me a disapproving
保
look.
健の先生、相変わらず苦手なのね。
なぜだか一人で行くと行き合えないから面倒なだけだよ。昨日は2人で寄ったから一発で会えた。
Well, she was also there when you met Erika at the beginning of this stream tonight, so it's not always.
この時期は風邪をひいている生徒が多いから、一人で行っても会えたでしょ。
Oh, sorry. It's true that there had been several other students waiting in front of us yesterday.
結果論としては、まあ僕としては保健室ですごい美人に会えたのが役得だったけどね。
へえ、ゆずりはのお眼鏡にかなう生徒もいたのね。だったらその子をエスコートして帰ったらよかったの
Oh,
に。
Nettie.
その子は目の前にいるよ。一緒に帰れて役得だった。
I wiped the sweat sheen from her décolletage. Interesting to have the French word there. With her towel. It takes a fair amount of effort for me to act the gentleman and avoid staring at her alluring chest. Smooth, yeah,
いつも
very.
の調子が戻ったみたいで安心したわ。
どうも。
Not that I was joking before. Nettie stares off into the distance as though she hasn't noticed my behavior, checking whether her time to dance is approaching.
これで会の方も順調ならよかったのだけど。
僕がいない間に面倒事が起きたのかい？
I hand her towel back. Her brow furrows. She tells me it wasn't enough to qualify as an incident, then adds an ominous but.
ここ最近七不思議の話が出ているの。
Yeah, there it is. We're gonna have to deal with this one too. I guess that's what it is.
森をさまようウェンディゴ。
さすがに耳が早いわね。最近九段の七不思議の話が出て森へ探検する生徒がいるそうなのよ。
肝試しするには少し遅いんじゃないか？
私もそうは思うけど。
まあ、娯楽の少ない学院だ。七不思議を娯楽の一つとして遊びに行くのもわからなくはない。
Yeah, actually, that is a fair point. Why would people get so entranced with these mysteries? They have no entertainment. They're secluded from the rest of the world. Of course, yeah. As council president, I can't say as much in front of Nettie, but I do
正
sympathize.
直 七不思議の一つ、森をさまようウェンディゴの目撃情報があったのだもの。調べたくなる気持ちはわかるわ。
口に出してもよかったか。
All part of Dahlia's plan. Gosh.
何？
いや、続けてくれ。
秋も終わりに近づいているけど、もみじ狩りを楽しむのもいいと思う。でも気分を出そうと暗くなってから出歩く生徒もいるらしいの。
Yeah, but like, you can have fun being scared, like, I don't know, being comfy in your house, not in your house, but like being comfy somewhere where you know you're safe and like, I don't know, watching a movie or something. I don't know if I would be seeking the experience of it. I guess I'm just not the kind of person who is into that. But I'm cool with watching like a good movie or series or I don't know, any piece of media that is well made. I'm cool with that.
なるほど。二階屋の会としては黙ってはいられない。拘束を破る不届き者は火あぶりの刑にするってわけだな。
生徒に注意を呼びかけるにしても大ごとにはしたくないし。
She presses her towel to her cheek anxiously.
今のところどれくらい広まっているか把握しているのかい？
I ask her.
細かいところまでは。でも話を聞くと森の奥、あの秘密の泉の方で見
Of
つけた子が多い
course
そう
they
なの。
did. That's what the AV room is for? Ah, do they have TVs in their rooms to watch movies or not in their rooms? No, they have a special AV room. Can't, you know, put TVs for their... I would guess that's, first of all, financially not a thing, and second of all, they wouldn't want to rot their brains in front of the TV instead of properly, you know, studying and doing all the school stuff, so I can see why that wouldn't be a thing.
多いか。
It doesn't sound like there were just the odd one or two witnesses.
合唱会前だってのに勘弁してくれ。
It never happens at an appropriate time. It's always an inconvenience. Because I guess that's the whole point of it. Otherwise you wouldn't care about it. I mutter to myself. I've got that bad feeling again, which has never been misplaced before. Ay, ay, ay. On my way home from choir club, a cute lively voice stops me in the tracks. It's one of the Sasakis.
いちごくんじゃないか。
It's hard to tell when they yell like that, but I guess Ringo would never be at that state of hyper.
お久しぶりです。
それとリンゴくんも。
ごきげんようです。
She's much more subdued. I make sure my tone of voice doesn't shift as I address each of
告
them.
白の返事をのびのびにしている手前、顔を合わせづらいが。
And on top of that, while I am not one to hold grudges, there was that whole ankle spraining thing.
足と頭、もう大丈夫みたいですね。
その言い方だと僕がヤバいやつに聞こえるじゃないか。
What?
最古のノーマン・ベイツみたいにですか？
スオー君の薫陶が生きてきたと見える。
The kind-hearted twins have added movies to their list of hobbies in order to be able to chat with Suoken, the film buff, just like how I became an expert in coffee.
風の時顔を出さなくて。
僕が後輩、いや、どの学年からも見舞いは断っていたんだ。
先輩人気者だからお見舞いだけで寝る時間なくなっちゃうそうですもんね。
She was just busy enjoying exclusive Neri time.
その通り。モテる女はつらい。
Ay, ay, ay. I smile and Ichigo-kun laughs merrily. Even Ringo-kun seems to soften slightly.
足の方はもう
そっちの方のご機嫌伺いはしてもらっただろう。とっくにだよ。ここで白鳥の湖を踊ってみせようか。
Aww. She's just worried. She probably feels guilty about it.
平気ならよかったです。
ああ、だが残念。ここでくるくる回ってお気に入りのショーツでも披露してやろうと思ったんだけどね。
This is totally unnecessary. What? Excuse me? I check on their reactions as I smirk crudely. I wasn't too worried about Ichigo-kun anyway, and Ringo-kun seems fine now. People's defenses come down when they're upset. Looking into their eyes is like peeking through a window into a home. There's only one person I've never been able to get a glimpse inside. One person for whom the glass is always foggy, blocking my view through the interior.
で、こんな時間にどうしたんだい？二人して森をさまようウェンディゴを探しに行っていたのかい？
嫌ですよ。そんなわけないですって。
It's extremely obvious from her reaction. No need for me to do any psychoanalysis. Yeah, Ringo just wears her heart on her sleeve. She can't lie.
別に咎め立て
Not
する
sorry,
気は
not
ない。
Ringo. Sorry, Ichigo.
二階屋
Ichigo.
の階でも問題になってはいるが、夕方以降や夜半に探検に行くのは推奨しかねるといった具合だからね。
I'm tired. I keep saying wrong things. Yeah, so Ichigo, when she's in this mode and she's not, you know, prepared or something, she's like, she's an open book. You can read her instantly.
そうなんですか。よかった。いちごね。
And that's how you get someone to let slip the truth. It takes her a few moments to cotton on to the fact that she just gave herself up. When she does, she bristles at me.
騙しましたね。
君はいい友人だったが、君のお父上がいけないのだよ。
Eh?
父上？何のこと？
Whoops, I went and used an old Gundam reference I got from my own father. Fiddling with my own long ponytail, I tell her it was just a bad joke. I don't get it, but that's okay.
さっきの話は本当だ。ま、二階屋の階で大っぴらに了承できないから暗黙の了解というやつだと思ってほしい。
I add that I'll overlook it since it seems like they'll be back by evening anyway.
それじゃ何か罰とか？
片場未寮長にでも言いつけようか？
それだけは勘弁してください。
さすが鉄の修道者。
The Iron Nun. Wow, that's something. She inspires fear in the hearts of students. Yeah, I know, right? And the shaking.
付き合ってみると人情家でいい人なんだがね。
先
平素の表情が怖いってのは損だな。
Resting bitch face.
ああ、冗談だよ。二度続けるのはたちが悪かった。そうだな。見逃す代わりに君たちに質問していいかい？
They both tilt their heads
森を
curiously.
さまようウェンディゴだが、噂になっている広がり具合とどんな風に広まっているかを尋ねたいんだ。
Ask the crestfallen Ichigo-kun. Ask the red-faced Ringo-kun. Huh. Ichigo or Ringo? Interesting. I don't know what the choice should be. The red-faced Ringo-kun. Okay.
教えてほしいんだ、リンゴくん。
はい。そもそも噂となったのは。
She looks up into my face earnestly. A red that can't be explained simply by the setting sun colors her features.
どうやら風邪をひきそうだ。話は後にしよう。
リンゴ？いえいえ、平気です。ウェンディゴの噂なのですが、 うちのクラスの子が森を散策していたところ、白い影を目撃したらしいのです。
1年生が噂の元となったのか。
I fiddle with my ponytail.
その白い影からウェンディゴの話を持ち出したのは私なのです。
She admits.
その違うんです。リンゴもだけど私的にも似てるって話して。
いいんだ。誰が言い出したなんて犯人探しをするつもりは毛頭ない。
I smile comfortingly at the twins. Their sisterly bond is a true marvel.
この学院の会は出会うとさらわれるのが常だが、今のところそんな事態には陥っていないようだし、少し釘を刺しておくだけで。なんだい？
全然無害というわけではないのです。
She twists her fingers together guiltily, and I sigh deeply to myself. Looks like my bad feeling was right on the mark yet again. Oof. Ugh. I hope they would say something there, but no, they ended the scene. Of course they did, to maintain the suspense, and now we're back to I guess we're back in Erika's and Chidori's room, probably. Yeah. But I think for tonight this is more or less my limit. My eyes are getting very heavy and I'm tired, so I think it's okay to leave it here, and we will progress through more of the mystery next time. Yeah, maybe even figure it out. I don't know, it depends how long they want to drag this on. Yeah, thank you all as well for joining. Wait, no, I should have just exited the game, but that's okay. There we go. There we are. Super tired face, but this is who I am. This is what you get right now. Thank you so much for being here. It's always so nice and cozy to share this story with you. I love it to bits, and I love you all to bits for being here with me. And yeah, we will continue with the mystery next time on Thursday, and promise that it won't be a no cam stream. Yeah, just like today, I do my best to limit those to a minimum. Yeah, sometimes maybe it works, but other times I also need to push myself a little bit out of my shell and out of my comfort zone, because that's good. That's where progress happens. I don't want to is it an owl I'm saying? Yes, it is an owl. I got this as a memento from Cluj when we went in July. And I got my mom a similar one, but with a kitty. And with the same kind of stone. It's a moonstone, the lady told me. I'm not good with stones, but it looked pretty. So I just got it. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. The moment... I think actually MKZ spotted it for me. He always spots the cutest things for me. And he's like, oh, look at that birdie. And it's like, oh yeah, perfect, that's the one. And there was a cat next to it, and I got that from my mom, which fits her as well. Yeah. All right. I guess yeah, that's pretty much it. Albert reference. Oh yeah, probably, I guess. I liked owls before Albert. I guess I like Albert because I like owls. He's cute. He looks fluffy. Particularly snow owls are very pretty. I think so. All right. Thank you so much for being here tonight as well, and see you next time if you are able to make it. Yeah, if not, we're just hanging around the Discords when I can, and yeah, just we will keep going. Usual schedule, Tuesday, Thursday. Nothing on the foreseeable horizon. Maybe sometime late October I might have to skip a stream because I will be out of town, but not in the few upcoming weeks. So we're here Tuesday, Thursday, with chillness and coolness and cuteness. Looking forward to the next one. And until then, take care, have a nice end to your day, and see you again Thursday. I like owls despite Albert. Okay. That's good. I would have been sad if he had ruined owls for you. It's been a while, but next one's the one. Okay, I will brace myself. Looking forward to it. Yeah, take care everyone and see you then. Bye bye.